Hey guys, what's up? It's your boy, one and only AR Anime, and yeah guys, today I am back on my channel, and today I'm going to do the next part of What If Naruto finally had enough of Team 7 and was trained by QB, otherwise known as Kurama. And hopefully you guys have enjoyed the previous part of this series, and today I'm going to do the part 2 of this series, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it. But before starting this video, I would like to make a request to all of you guys to come on guys, if you guys have not subscribed yet, please guys do so. I'm aiming for 2k. I have already reached 1k on this channel and I'm really grateful for that. Let's hope that we will be able to reach 2k as quick as possible. So yeah guys, if you guys have not subscribed yet, please guys do so. It will really help me a lot. So yeah guys, if you guys subscribe to my channel, it will, you can say, motivate me, and I will try my best to upload the next part of this series as well. Otherwise some other part in this channel as well. So it is up to you guys. So yeah guys, without any further ado, let's start the video. Last time we left off as we saw that Naruto was, you can say, devastated after the death of his very first friend, that was Haku, as he remembered that how Haku was simply killed by Kakashi. If only he was strong enough. He was going through all the memories in which he wanted to become a shinobi and how he wanted to protect everyone which was precious to him. But in the end of the day, Kakashi was training him next to nothing. He always took Sasuke away, and always both Sasuke and Kakashi arrived 3 hours late. Kakashi still, you can say, gave his stupid excuses, and while on the other hand Sasuke simply, you can say, said HN and then started to do his own brooding, while on the other hand Sakura was in the end of the day still useless and known as Sakura. So Naruto did not care anymore as he decided to talk with QB. After all, in the wave mission he sensed the immense power of QB inside of him. As Naruto talked with QB, as QB told him that how Naruto was a fool and it is up to him that how useless and, you can say, weak he actually was as a shinobi. Instead of playing pranks, he could have entered into the shinobi library in which there are hundreds of jutsu. Well, granted, they are not A or S rank jutsus, but still the shinobi library still has up to B rank jutsus and a lot of knowledge how to become a strong shinobi, and Naruto is relying solely on Kakashi to teach him. While on the other hand, Naruto has so many abilities, he can use them. As Naruto was devastated after hearing that it was mostly his fault, that how weak of a shinobi he actually was. It was right, he was dependent on Hokage, he was dependent on Iruka, and now he was dependent on Kakashi. He finally had enough of it, as he finally sneaked inside of the shinobi library and decided to get some of the jutsus. So yeah guys, that was the last part. If you guys have not seen it, please check it out and you guys will definitely like the part. So yeah guys, without wasting any more of your time, let us start the video. As Naruto, in this time, let's just say, 1 month has already passed. In this time, Naruto was training with his, you can say, shadow clones as well as his, you can say, his taijutsu. As Naruto at this moment was doing push-ups, he was going through push-ups a lot faster than that, as Naruto was truly impressed with himself. As he said, damn Kurama, it is damn QB, it is really great. My healing factor is really helping me a lot. As QB chuckled a little, well Brad, you can thank me for that. After all, I'm the greatest of the Bijus, the QB no Kutsu. As he started to laugh at his own, you can say, expense, as Naruto sweat dropped at that, as he said, well, it was really great. In the beginning of the training of Naruto, he was barely, and when I say barely, really barely, was able to do 300, you can say, push-ups and sit-ups. And after 1 month of, you can say, immense training, as Naruto noticed that after, you can say, 5 days of training, he was easily able to do push-ups up to 500. And whenever he, you can say, get tired, in the next day, he was able to do the same amount of push-up with a lot of ease. As Naruto breezed through all of these exercises, which he saw Guy as well as, you can say, Lee do all the time thanks to the help of his shadow clone. As Naruto first thought that how he's going to approach Guy and Lee and ask them about the 8 inner gates as well as try to do some, you can say, training with it, as Naruto has already made up his mind to, you can say, train with them. Flashback to Naruto. As Naruto was, you can say, after 15 days of training, he was already able to do easily 2000 push-ups and sit-ups with little to no trouble whatsoever. As he said, well QB, do you think that I can keep up with that absurd workout of that guy sensei and Lee character? As Kurama was, you can say, silent for some moment as Naruto said, hey QB, hey, are you there? As QB said, I'm not going anywhere, you stupid brat. I was thinking. Alright, as Naruto said, yeah, I'm asking a question to you, so mind answering it. As QB said, well, what do you want, Brad? And she said, well, I was thinking that if I could train with Lee as well as Gaia, I always could have, you could say, a sparring partner with Lee. I think that I'm getting stronger, so it would be great if I have a training partner. As QB simply shook his head, well, I don't think that that will actually work, Brad. As you can say, Naruto raised an eyebrow at that. And what do you mean by that? As QB sighed, well, you have decided to learn 18 gates, haven't you? Uzumaki, as Naruto simply nodded at that. And yeah, that's the main reason I wanted to ask that guy sensei character to teach me the 18 gates. As QB simply scoffed, you're still a brat. You do not understand the shinobi world at all. As Naruto said, what are you talking about now? As he said, listen, brat. You do realize that that guy sensei character has three students, while only one of his students can perform his own techniques, right? As Naruto simply nodded at that, as QB said, well, in this shinobi world, all the techniques are held, you can say, close to the heart of a shinobi. They rarely teach their secret techniques to the other. Just look towards that guy character. He has only taught Lee, or whatever his name was, the 18 gates, and even if you were to ask him, he will not teach you. And once you discover how to, you can say, unlock the gate at yourself, there will always be suspicion that how you have stolen the technique from him. So I will not advise you to ask him to use 18 gates, because I'm more than sure that he will not teach you. As a matter of fact, he will even question you where did you learn about it, or if you were spying on them. As not to gulp a little, well, it was pretty possible actually. After all, many shinobis do not teach their technique to other shinobi, and only their prize students ever learn their signature techniques of a master. As Naruto simply gritted his teeth. So, what do you want me to do, huh? No one can teach me the 1800 gates other than that guy sensei character. As QB sighed as he said, well, at this moment, I don't think that it would be a great idea to train with them. Why don't you perform some of the techniques? I'm already thinking about what to do about the 1800 gates. As Naruto sighed at that, alright, if you say so, damn it. Now, flashback ends as 1 month has passed as Naruto has finally been able to reach, you can say, 3000, or you can say 2500 push-ups, and same with the sit-ups, and you can say a lot of, you can say, run all across the village. As Naruto's stamina and, you can say, physical attitude has really increased a lot. As Naruto was really amazed. He was able to progress at a rapid rate thanks to the healing ability of QB. Whenever his muscles got strained, thanks to the QB's chakra, he was able to heal, and his body was able to adjust to the pressure, thus making his body a lot stronger. As Naruto was really amazed at that. As you look back to the 1000 shadow clones were already practicing several other techniques. 100 of them were, you can say, climbing the trees. Other, you can say, 400s of them were on the lake, still practicing their water walking. And another technique which Naruto was working at the moment was, you can say, balancing yourself on a kunai, which was really hard, as Naruto lost a lot of clones in the beginning of using this technique. As Naruto smirked at that, his chakra control has really improved. His physical as well as his speed has also increased. As Naruto was able to get some of the, you can say, weights thanks to the help of, you can say, Henjutsu, which Naruto figured out that how his henge is actually a permanent one and a physical henge, which Naruto was really surprised at that. But Kyuubi told him that it is mainly because of his yokai. So Naruto was really grateful to the Kyuubi as he said, alright Kyuubi, what do you want me to do now? It seemed that my chakra control has really improved. As QB sighed, well, I was hoping for it to improve a lot better, but it seemed that your chakra is increasing a lot faster than I previously thought, which means that your chakra control will still need a lot of work, but it does not matter. As he said, alright, Brat, now let us get back to the techniques. As Naruto smirk at that, he was really hoping for to, you can say, perform ninjutsu and all that. 18er gates are amazing and all, but flashy techniques are always the best. As Naruto smirk at that, alright Kyuubi, I'm ready for it. As Naruto looked towards the technique as he said, wind style, wind bullets. As Naruto quickly go through hand sign As Naruto has already, you can say QB has already told Naruto to make his shadow clones only practice the hand signs and not perform the technique. As Naruto quickly go through hand sign and said wind style, wind bullets. As Naruto released, you can say 5 bullets from his mouth at the slam into several trees, breaking them apart. As Naruto said, well, that was great. As QB said, well, that technique is really great. If you would have performed the same technique in the beginning of your technique, I'm willing to bet that you would have blown your face off. As Naruto said, hey, that's not true. As QB chuckled at that, well, you are only able to perform 5 bullets at a once, which means that you have still a lot of room to practice. Why don't you let your clones to do so, and you can always practice some other techniques. As Naruto sighed, yeah, I was already hoping for that fire jutsu. As QB smirked at that, Naruto may not have affinities for all the 5 chakra natures, but his chakra is already more than enough for, you can say, for him to perform the techniques and not feel the fatigue of it. For example, if Sasuke were to perform wind techniques at the same time, let's just say if Sasuke were to perform as wind bullet technique, he will be able to do it once in a single day. And while on the other hand, when he performs the fireball technique, he can do the same technique 3 times. And so that you can say if you perform a technique other than your nature, it will take a lot of chakra. While on the other hand, thanks to Naruto's improved chakra control, even if he were to able to lose a lot of chakra by using a separate, you can say, affinity jutsu, it will not change anything whatsoever, as Naruto's chakra pool are already so great. As QB could already feel the Naruto's chakra was increasing even further. He was hoping for the chakra to stabilize itself so Naruto could have perfect chakra control. But it seemed that Naruto is not destined to have such control over his chakra. As QB simply shook his head, well, at least these chakra control techniques will help him in the long run. As QB simply shook his head, what was his thinking? He was QB now. Kitsune. He does not care about a puny mortal whatsoever. He was only training him so he could become strong and he could protect himself against, you can say, the masked man who was able to control QB. Yeah, that was the only reason he was training the brat. As QB simply shook his head at that, try to, you can say, convince himself that how he's only training Naruto because he wants him to kill that masked guy. As he simply nodded at that, as he looked towards Naruto, as he was already going through hand sign. Alright, fire style, great fireball jutsu. As he released a fireball, well, not as big as Sasuke, as not the great at his state. Hey, as QB sigh, well, you have to do a lot of practice, brat. As Naruto sigh, as he simply, you can say, snap his finger, more shadow clones appeared as he started to practice the technique. As QB said, alright, brat, come inside of the mindscape. As Naruto thought it for some time, as he simply nodded at that, as he threw some of the scrolls in front of his shadow clones who already started to practice some of the techniques at that. As Naruto finally arrived in within his mindscape, as QB said, alright, brat. I was thinking about this concept of the 8 inner gates and some of the scrolls you were able to gather from that stupid library. As Naruto simply nodded at that as a sigh, I was able to gather some of the information, but it is not how to perform the technique. It seemed that there is no information listed in it. As QB sighed, as I said, well, it is to be expected. It is a kinjutsu, just like that shadow clone of yours. I'm willing to bet that it is also written down in the, you can say, the forbidden scroll of sealing. As Naruto's eyes widened as he said, wait a minute, no, I'm not going to steal that stupid scroll once again. As QB gave Naruto a smirk at that, as Naruto said, I'm not gonna do it again, damn it. I was barely able to escape last time. As QB chuckled, think about it, Naruto. So many forbidden jutsus written down in it. You could gain a lot, a lot of power from the scroll of sealing. As Naruto thought it for some time, it is really true. But wouldn't it be, you can say, against his, all the, you can say, third Hokage trusted him. How could he steal the scroll once again? Last time he did it because, you can say, Mizuki tricked him, but this time he would do it. It would almost be equal to treason. As Naruto thought it for some time, as Kyuubi chuckled a little, as as Naruto suddenly, you can say, shook his head. No, I'm not going to do it. As Kyuubi chuckled a little as he said, well, I already knew that you would not do it. As Naruto simply looked towards him and put an accusing finger towards Kyuubi. Hey, so why did you told me to do it, you stupid furball? As Kyuubi chuckled as he said, well, foolish human. Consider this, you can say, a favor from me, the mighty QB. To be honest, you do not need the power of the 1800 gears. You already have an unlimited source of power from me. I'm the QB no Kutsin, the strongest of the Bijus. As he started to laugh even further, as not the sweat drop at that, he heard that at least you could say 10 times a single day. As Naruto simply shook his head. Hey, you stupid furball, stop laughing and tell me already. As QB chuckled as he said, well, human, I was studying your body in it, as well as some of the knowledge I have gained from the, you can say, those scrolls at that. And now I was able to, you can say, get a, you can say, physical information of your body pretty quickly thanks to my yokai, which is already floating in your body. So, in short, as that, I was able to figure out how to activate the inner gates. As Naruto's eyes widened at that, as he said, really? I can activate the 8 inner gates now? As QB chuckled, well, stupid human, it will take a lot more time for you to do so, but it is a theory. But there is a great possibility that I, the greatest of the but before he could complete his sentence, yeah, I already know, the greatest of the Bijus, the Cuban Kitsur, yeah, get ready. As QB gritted his teeth, well, stupid human, as I was saying, I have been able to figure out how to do it, so do you want to learn it or not? As Naruto simply smirked at that, do you really have to ask, you stupid furball? As QB chuckled as he said, well, human, I would have crushed you and eaten you by now if it was not because of the bars. You are so lucky. If it was not of me not liking you using my power, I would have never even told you to use this power. After all, you're so weak and pathetic. It is the only reason I'm going to teach you this technique, so you do not have to rely on my power, or you would not, you can say, stole my power. As Naruto simply nodded at that as he said, now get out of the mindscape. As Naruto was pushed out of the mindscape as he said, hey, you have yet to tell me how to activate the damn gates, damn it. As Kyuubi said, shut up, you stupid brat. As he said, alright Naruto, concentrate. As Naruto simply nodded at that as Kyuubi said, alright, sit down. As Naruto simply nodded at that as Kyuubi sighed, well Naruto, there are total 8 inner gates within the human body and all of them are activated from the different parts of the body. As I was able to figure out, there are several parts as well as rather known as the chakra coils in your body, but some of them are the major ones and behind them is the immense power which are known as the 8 inner gates from the first gate, which is, you can say, located at your stomach. As Naruto's eyes widen at that, yes, the first gate. For you to activate the first gate, you have to concentrate at the, you can say, the biggest chakra coil at your stomach, and you have to concentrate even further. You will be able to feel a push in it, as in that location you will be able to fire the first gate from first gate, which is located to the stomach, to the 8th gate, which is located at the heart of the human being. As Naruto's eyes widen at that, so I have to concentrate of all that, As Kyuubi simply nodded at that. Now concentrate your mind. Try to imagine your chakra that is floating within your body and concentrate it to the biggest chakra pool or biggest chakra coil that is located at your stomach. As Naruto simply nodded at that, in this time Kyuubi was forcing Naruto to learn some of the, you can say, read some of the books which they were able to stole borrow from library. As Naruto simply nodded at that as he started to concentrate within his body. He could feel his chakra that was floating, as well as he could feel a bit of, you can say, Kyuubi's yokai in all. As he could feel, you can say, his chakra that was flowing across his body, especially his heart, which was the biggest flow of chakra, as well as his, you can say, several other parts, lungs, as well as several arm and all that. He was focusing mainly on the stomach. He could feel, you can say, it was like a large dam in which you can see small holes in it all across his body. He started to focus mainly on the stomach as Kyuubi's voice could be heard in his mind. Yes, Naruto, you're already there. Now focus mainly on the largest point there. As Naruto could imagine, there were 10, at least 10 points across his stomach area. He could feel at the center of them as there was the biggest one there. It was like the largest pipe there from which the chakra or water is flowing as Naruto started to focus more and more. You can say in it, he could feel a push in it. As he started to focus even further, it was like a gate, and he was a small person trying to, you can say, force it to open with force. As Naruto gritted his teeth, he could feel it, but there was so much chakra behind it as the gate was stuck by it. As Naruto started to grit his teeth and started to focus even further, while outside of the Naruto's body, as green energy started to surround Naruto all over the area. As Kyuubi's eyes widened at that, he's already doing it at his first try. He never thought that the brat would be able to figure out. Hell, he was even doubting that this, you can say, procedure will even work to begin with. As green energy started to, you can say, float all across Naruto's body, as Naruto, while inside of his mind, as he was pushing across the gate which was his chakra point, a chakra pool, as Naruto pushed through the gate, as finally the energy that was Naruto's chakra started to flood across his chakra pool, as green energy erupted from Naruto's body, as all around the area, as all the places. If you can imagine now Goku transforming into a Super Saiyan or something like it, or powering up a key, as Naruto was surrounded by the green energy. As his eyes shot open, he looked towards his hand as green energy was floating across it. As Naruto's eyes widened at that, he could feel the pressure across his body. All of his muscles were tensing at that and shredding at a great speed. As Naruto's eyes widened at that, as Kyuubi's voice suddenly, you can say, could be heard across his mind. Damn it, brat, shut the gate already. You're already tearing apart your muscles. As Naruto was barely able to hear it, as he started to concentrate even further, trying to, you can say, shut the gate. And finally, he was barely able to do it. As his last try, he was exhausted from even activating the first gate at that. As he looked towards his hand, which were trembling with great and excessive force. As Naruto's eyes widened at that, as he said, so that was the power of the 18 gates, huh? As Kyuubi simply, you can say, silently nodded at that. It was far greater than, you can say, he previously thought. He always thought that all the gates provide some type of multiplier, but it seemed that it mainly because of Naruto's large chakra pole. Naruto's 18 gates are a lot stronger than any other clan, even stronger than that of, you can say, the other guy character, as well as that Lee guy, which QB was able to see the memories. Both of them got the relative, you can say, same increase of strength in it. But it seemed that because of Naruto's unique heritage of an Uzumaki, as well as he himself being inside of him and his large chakra pool has given him, you can say, a lot stronger in 18 gates. But there's a problem in it as well. It seemed that Naruto's body, even with the excessive training, was not able to handle even the first grade of the 18 gates. It seemed that the things are going to be a lot interesting in the future. You be chuckle at that as Naruto was trembling with, you can say, utter exhaustion. As Kyuubi said, listen here, brat. As Naruto finally arrived within his mindscape, what do you want, Kyuubi? As Kyuubi said, well, as you could already see, your body is already trembling and you feel exhausted, isn't it right, brat? As Naruto simply nodded at that. As Kyuubi said, well, it seems that your body is not ready to activate the 18 gates. As Naruto simply looked towards Kyuubi. What? But you told me that if I were to able to do that workout, I should be able to activate the gate without much trouble whatsoever. As Kyuubi said, well, it seemed that I had a bit of miscalculation. Your inner gates are a lot stronger than that guy character as well as that Lee person. As Naruto's eyes widen at that, what do you mean by that? As QB said, well, Brad, all of your human bodies are made differently. Some of them are born naturally strong and some of them are born naturally weak. And that is the law of this world. It seems that because of your unique heritage, your inner gates or your chakra pool is a lot stronger than that guy character as well as that Lee guy naturally, which means that you're able to draw more chakra from your source, thus making your 18 gates a lot stronger, as it is not the same type of multiplier or anything like it. Even that Lee guy as well as that guy character had different type of multipliers when they activate their 18 gates. That is mainly because of their chakra pool that is deep inside of it. Even if that Lee guy could not activate his chakra, but still he is alive, which means that he still has chakra inside of him. as Naruto was already thinking about it. He also thought that the 8 inner gates were simple multipliers, nothing more than that. But it means that if his chakra, or rather, if his 8 inner gates a lot stronger, which means that he can combat a lot, you can say, greater 8 inner gates of Lee or Guy character with the lower levels of his own. As Naruto had a smirk on his face as QB said, don't get cocky, brat. You have still yet to control even the first gate at that. As Naruto, you can say, was dumbstruck at that. Alright, QB, what do you want me to do now, huh? As QB said, well, it seemed that you have to do a lot of training at that. Guess what? Another 1 month of hard training will be able to do the trick. As QB had a, you can say, smirk on his face, evil smirk on his face, as Naruto gulped a little. It seemed that his torture, well, training is going to begin once again. As now, let us cut back to, you can say, Dream 7 and all that. As Naruto finally this time decided to go to his training ground. After all, another 15 days has passed, or rather 1 month and 15 days has passed. In this time, Naruto was going through hellish of training, so Naruto could actually make his body strong enough to manage the power of the 8 inner gates, as Naruto was really excited from it. As he finally arrived to the training ground, after all, QB finally had, you can say, some pity on him and gave him a day off. As Naruto finally arrived to the place as usual, his, you can say, his shadow clone was trying to do the tree climbing exercise. Well, to be honest, it could do pretty easily, but it seemed that it was just keeping up with the appearances. As while on the other hand, Sasuke was sparring with Kakashi, as Kakashi was giving him pointers and all that. As Naruto saw, as he quickly switched with his clone without little trouble, you can say, whatsoever, while on the other hand, Sakura was already exhausted and admiring Sasuke, as Sasuke was fighting with Kakashi and suddenly it pulled out, you can say, something which really shocked Naruto to the core, as then anger started to fill the heart of Naruto as he gritted his teeth as Sasuke was using a shadow clone technique of his. As Naruto gritted his teeth as Kakashi was still able to dispel the shadow clone, as he gave Sasuke a eye smile as he said, well Sasuke, that was a great spot. It seems that you're improving at your taijutsu. As Sasuke grunted at that, and then they both of them noticed Naruto was walking up to them as Kakashi said, well Naruto, what are you doing here? I thought I told you to do the tree climbing exercise, while in the inside he already had an idea. As Naruto grabbed Sasuke roughly from the, you can say, shirt and pull him towards him. What the hell, you damn bastard? Why are you using my technique as well? As Sasuke looked towards Naruto and then a smirk came to his face as Naruto gritted his teeth. You copied it, didn't you? You stole a technique by using that thieving eyes of yours, didn't you? You bastard! As Naruto punched Sasuke on the face, which really shocked Sasuke because he was on guard as well as he had Sharingan activated. He was not able to see the, you can say, great speed at which Sasuke got punched as he was sent flying. As before Naruto could do anything, as Kakashi arrived in front of him, Naruto, that is enough. As Naruto gritted his teeth, but he stole my technique by using that thieving eye of his. As Kakashi gave Naruto a disapproving, you can say, look. As Sasuke gritted his teeth, he was more than ready to put this dobe in his place. How dare he to lay a finger on an Uchiha, an elite like him? While on the other hand, Sakura also joined in. She was a bit confused, but then she noticed that Naruto punched Sasuke-kun, and then all the, you can say, logic and reasoning she had, she threw it outside of the window as she said, what the hell, Naruto baka, what are you doing to my Sasuke-kun? As Naruto graded his state, he was not in the mood. How much hard work he had put in that technique of Shadow Clone, he remembered that night. How much of hours he practiced that technique, and he was able to use it, and just Sasuke came with his Sharingan and copied it. Granted, he was more than sure that Sasuke would never be able to pull out the technique on the same scale at which he could do, but still, that was his technique, and Sasuke had no right to copy it. As Naruto simply glared towards, you can say, Sakura, as she was taken aback from it, as Naruto glared towards Kakashi. What is the meaning of this, Kakashi sensei? As Kakashi said, well Naruto, as but before he could say anything, as Sasuke looked towards Naruto, so what if I copied it from you, you damn dobe? You should be happy that you has helped an Uchiha, an elite like myself, to obtain anything useful. Granted that you are not useful whatsoever in any mission. He said that with a smug and arrogant look on his face as Naruto narrowed his eyes even further. As Kakashi said, alright Naruto, that is enough. Stop acting like a child. You're a shinobi. Grow up already. As Naruto gritted his teeth, that damn hypocrite, huh? Those who abandon their comrades are trash. As Naruto scoffed, as Kakashi was a hypocrite of the highest level that he has ever seen in his life. As Kakashi said, alright Naruto, that is enough. You are comrades with Naruto. It is you are comrades with Sasuke. And comrades help each other. It does not matter if Sasuke has, you can say, it does not matter if Sasuke has learned the same technique as yours. As Naruto gritted his teeth as he shot a glare towards Kakashi. Even Kakashi was taken aback from it, the hate behind those eyes. As he said, he did not learn it, you bastard. He stole that technique by using those eyes of his. As Kakashi had more than enough of it. Alright Naruto, if you're so jealous, then it seems that you will need a bit of motivation. Why don't you take a week off from the training and go to your home? Alright, that is enough, leave. As Naruto gritted his teeth as if there was any useful thing to do, as Kakashi simply shook his head. Alright Sasuke, follow me. Let us work on the fire techniques I was teaching you. As Sasuke smirked at that. As I started to follow, you can say. As Kakashi, while Nojita and Sakura was a bit confused in the beginning, but then she realized that Sasuke-kun has copied the Shadow Clone technique of Naruto. But then she remembered that Naruto Baka has heard, you can say Sasuke-kun, and then you can say disrespective Kakashi-sensei. And all this sense, the remaining sense which she had, she also kicked it outside of the window as she shot a glare towards Naruto. But at this point, Naruto did not care. He was angry beyond belief as he finally decided to leave the training ground as if Kakashi had anything useful to teach him to begin with, as he simply scoffed at the idea, as he simply went off to do his own training, completely ignoring, you can say, Sakura. As now, let us go back to Naruto's training ground at large as Naruto slammed his face into a boulder, shattering it apart. Well, not completely, but still, there were several cracks in it, as he said, damn it, as QB was, you can say, inside of Naruto's mind was going through all of it as he said, it seemed that the Uchiha has already it seemed that the Uchiha has already you can say stepped on his limits. As Naruto gritted his teeth, he has worked so hard to learn that technique and that you can say Kakashi no sensei. He was no sensei of his. He was just a hypocrite and nothing more than that. As Naruto gritted his teeth even further, he was already having more than enough of both Sakura and Kakashi, and as well as you can say Sasuke. He was getting angry, but every day passing, his Shadow Clone's memory always transferred back to him. And Sasuke always liked to taunt him, as well as same with Sakura, and Kakashi just did not care whatsoever. As Naruto simply shook his head. As Kyuubi said, well, it seemed that the Uchiha has started to copy the other techniques of other kids. As Naruto said, but what if he copied the techniques which I was already learning? As Kyuubi was silent for some time. Well, it's a possibility, Naruto. The Sharingan can copy the hand signs, which means that they can copy all the techniques in the world. But as Naruto was about to say something, but Kyuubi said, but as Naruto said, so you have something else to say, huh? As Kyuubi chuckled, it seems that you're getting a bit receptive, huh? Well, good. As Kyuubi said, well, if you're able to master your jutsus to a degree in which you can say simply cut down the number of hand signs, then it is not possible for the Sharingan to copy even if you are able to reduce a single hand sign from from a technique, then the Sharingan is unable to copy the technique. Sharingan can only copy the techniques which require the full hand sign. For example, for for you can say if you remember the water dragon jutsu, it requires 50 hand signs, but your Hokage, third Hokage, if I may remember correctly, was able to do the same technique with 3 hand signs, and your Nadam Hokage was able to do the technique with a single hand sign. As that much mastery they had over their jutsus, as Naruto was at awe at that. As Naruto remembered something that Haku was able to do the techniques with a single hand and single hand signs. As Naruto remembered that, as he was a bit sad after remembering his first friend Haku, but he simply shook his head. So, you want me the technique? You want me to master the techniques to a level where they do not require hand signs or they reduce at least one hand sign from the total technique. Scooby simply nodded at that, and then Naruto had a determined look on his face. Alright, as he make 1000 shadow clones, as he said, alright, I want you guys to learn, or rather perform the techniques and start experimenting with it. Try to reduce the hand signs as much as I can. I want all of my techniques to be performed with no hand signs or with a single hand sign. As all of the shadow clones cheered at that, as I simply went off, Scooby chuckled. I like your determination, brat. But do remember, you do not have the affinities for all the elements. You have only affinity for wind. So it is possible for you to perform techniques of wind with single or two or three hand signs for the other ones. It may be possible, but you are far from it. I would suggest you to make some other clones and let them perform your chakra control exercises. As Naruto greeted his state, you know what, QB? I'm getting frustrated with these stupid chakra control exercises. Whenever you say that I have near perfect chakra control after so many shadow clones, you just said that how my chakra control has really, you can say simply, destroyed after some time. SQB thought it for some time. The main problem lies with the seal, brat. This seal is mainly designed to a level. It always take my chakra and let it filter from the steel and add it to your chakra pool, thus increasing the whole chakra of yourself. Whenever you get near perfect chakra control, the seal simply notice that and then push more of my chakra outside of the seal, thus disturbing your chakra a lot from it, which means that in all of your life you will never have perfect chakra control. Whenever you will get it, this seal will automatically add my chakra to yours, thus disturbing your chakra control even further. It's not to create his state on that, which means that he has to practice a lot of chakra control, and then after that, what's the point? He will get even more chakra, thus disturbing his chakra control even further. As Naruto simply, you can say, slam his face into the boulder of previous, thus making another, you can say, cracks in it. As QB noticed that as well. As he said, well, interesting. As he put that at the back of his head, it seemed that Naruto's chakra control was not as bad as he previously thought. He's subconsciously adding chakra to his punches and attacks, thus making them a lot stronger. Well, there was a woman who was able to perform the technique, if QB remembered it correctly. Her name was Mito Uzumaki, his first Jinchuriki. But he simply shook his head. As he said, alright, brat, do you want to learn something which the Sharingan could never ever copy? As Naruto thought it for some time, what are you talking about? As QB chuckled as he said, well, you know, the Sharingan has the abilities to copy ninjutsu, genjutsu, even the Ken as well as taijutsu, though their body may not be adopt to the whole, you can say, fighting style. Even if they were able to copy it, their body will not be used to it, though your taijutsu will always be something with the Uchiha will always have trouble with it. But there's a possibility that how he will be able to learn it with enough work. But there is an art which the Sharingan users always hated with passion in the late times. As Naruto raised an eyebrow at that, Uchiha's hating a field of the shinobi art. What could actually that be? As Kyuubi chuckled, well, that will be the art of the Fuinjutsu. As Naruto raised an eyebrow at that, he does remember Kyuubi mentioning something about it. As I said, to be honest, I would have, you can say, always put you away from the Fuinjutsu department and all that. As a matter of fact, this whole village has done everything in its power to put you away from the arts of the Fuinjutsu. As Naruto raised an eyebrow at that, what do you mean by that, QB? As QB chuckled, as I said, well, Brad, it's pretty simple. They do not trust you. Do you know why? And how I am binded or rather sealed inside of you. As Naruto simply nodded at that, then suddenly it clicked in his mind because of the Fuinjutsu, because of the seal which was placed at his stomach. That was the thing which was holding something as powerful as Kyuubi inside of him. As Naruto finally noticed at that, but then he remembered what Kyuubi was talking about, the village trying to stop him from using the Fuinjutsu. As he looked towards Kyuubi, as Kyuubi chuckled, so you noticed that, huh? Well, Brad, it's pretty simple. They think that if you're able to learn some of the Fuinjutsu, as you already know, most of them thinks that you are my incarnate for some reason. Stupid humans. But it does not matter. So that is the main reason they did not even introduce you to the idea of the Fuinjutsu. Even when you belongs to the Uzumaki clan, which were known for their Fuinjutsu, they are stopping you from learning the Fuinjutsu because they think that if you're able to learn it, you will be able to regain your power, or rather, because they think that you are me. They think that I will be able to regain my power, which was sealed away by the fourth Hokage. As Naruto finally it clicked it in his mind as he greeted his state at that the most useful things in which he wants in his life was to be given to him or to be informed to him by the very demon which has ruined his life, and this village is doing nothing to help him whatsoever. As Naruto greeted his state even further as he looked towards Kyuubi with determination in his eyes. Alright Kyuubi, I will learn the art as you said that how my ancestors knows about it. So I will become a master of it. As Naruto as Kyuubi smirked at that. After that, there was an ancient seal which the Uzumakis actually made. If you were to able to perform it or put it in your body or anyone's body, the Sharingan's ability become null and void. That was the main reason in the ancient times the Uzumakis were hated by the Uchihas with passion. As Naruto's eyes widened at that, was there a sea like that? SQB chuckle at that. Huh, truly amazing, huh? Wouldn't you agree, brat? And Naruto was really, you can say, astonished from me. Considering a seal, there was a seal which can, you can say, make all the abilities of Sharingan on you null and void. As Kyuubi said, huh, no Uchiha will ever be able to copy your ninjutsu, your genjutsu, your taijutsu, or even your kenjutsu to begin with. If you have a seal on your body, even the abilities of the Byakugan will never affect you. That is the main reason both of these clans really hated the Uzumakis. And when the Konoha was formed, the Uzumakis already knew that they would have a lot of trouble with the Hyuga clan as well as the Uchiha clan. That was the main reason they refused the offer of the Shodaime Hokage to simply settle into Konoha, as after all the Uzushio was located in sea. Thus they have a lot of trouble while traveling to the whole, you can say, mainland and all that. As but the Uzumaki simply rejected that, knowing that it would have caused the Konoha a lot of trouble, and the Uzumaki's trouble with the Uchiha as well as the Hyuga clan. As Naruto was at awe at that his clan was really powerful. As Naruto simply clenched his fist, he was learning the arts of a shinobi. He could already feel he was becoming strong. His chakra control was improving. His taijutsu has, you can say, become a lot stronger. Though he does not have a taijutsu stand still, but still, his physical condition was at top condition. He was learning the 1800 gates, and now he's going to start, you can say, the Fuinjutsu arts, and all thanks to the abilities of the shadow clone technique, which this village did not even bother to inform him. As Naruto could already feel he was becoming stronger in this time. As he clenched his fist at that, he will learn it all. He will become a shinobi who knows all the arts of a shinobi. As he smirked at that, just wait it, Sasuke, you will regret ever copying a single technique from me. As Naruto smirked at that as he looked towards Kyuubi. Well, Kyuubi, is there a seal? If I were to able to place it on an Uchiha, thus making his Sharingan all the abilities of the Sharingan for himself null and void. As Kyuubi's eyes widened at that, then a smirk came to his face as he said, "Ha, well, brat, I would have never thought I will say this, but I am really started to like you, Brad." As Naruto had the same smirk as Kyuubi's on his face. "Just wait it, Sasuke, you will regret it. And same with you, you hypocrite of a sensei. Just you watch." And then you can say the training of Naruto in the art of Fuinjutsu finally begins. Well guys, yeah guys, here I will have this part. Hope you guys enjoyed it. In this part I mainly go through the training of Naruto and the arts which he is already studying, as well as I wanted to go through the 18 gates. I think that is the main reason, because you can say Guy was always stronger than Lee, but still I think that it is mainly the 1800 gates are mainly because of your own chakra pool, thus unlocking the potential of your chakra. The greater your original chakra pool is, the stronger you will get when you activate the 1800 gates. So yeah guys, that is my reasoning. That is the main reason I have made Naruto's 1800 gates a lot stronger than both of Guy and Lee. After all, both of them are from the civilian family, while on the other hand Naruto belongs to a clan which is descendant of the Sage of Six Paths. That is my reasoning. If you have something other than that to add, then tell me in the comment section. And yeah guys, I will make Sasuke pay in this story as well as Kakashi. as Naruto has already made up his plan to make a seal which will destroy the abilities of the Sharingan, thus stopping them from ever copying any other technique in the whole world. So it is up to you guys. If you guys have some other ideas, new ideas, people are always giving me in the ideas in the comment section. Tell me as quick as possible after I release this video, because I have decided to make the next part today. So hopefully I will think about your idea and add it in my story. So yeah guys, please tell me in the comment section as quick as possible. And if you guys have not subscribed yet, please guys do so. It will really help me a lot, as I want to reach 2k. I've already you can say start the mission 2k in this channel. So yeah guys, subscribe and comment section. Like goal is going to be, let's say, 120 likes, and for the comments, 80 comments, no, 60 comments. Do that and I shall upload the next part as quick as possible. So yeah guys, hope you enjoyed it, and peace.